welcome and thank you so much for joining me, Alyssa Arundell, for your 2021 tarot card reading. I cannot believe we're in 2021. For this year, what we're going to do is pull 12 cards, and these 12 cards are going to symbolize each month of the year for your specific zodiac sign. In the middle of this spread is going to be what's called a significator card. So this is a card that is a running theme throughout your year, and then as each month comes up, we're going to compare this card to the card that you pulled for that specific month. So I hope that that makes sense. I will also be leaving timestamps beneath this video so that you can refer back to each month as you go throughout your year. So all you need to do is save this video in your favorites or something, and then you can refer back to that. Before we dive into this year's reading, I'd also just like to thank you for joining us for our daily show. Thank you for joining me for these monthly videos. It really does mean a lot to me. If you would like to check out your free 3-card tarot spread, you can do that by clicking on the link beneath this video. It's completely free. And if you would like to reach out to myself for a live one-to-one consultation, I'd be more than happy to work with you and to serve you in whatever way I can. But without further ado, let's get into this year's reading. Hello Cancer, and welcome to your 2021 tarot card reading. The first card that we are going to pull for you this year is your significator card. So this is a card that we're going to refer back to at some of the months in the year, and it is, this is your card. It's the moon, and the moon is very much has many different meanings to it, really. Partly it can be a bit of confusion, a bit of illusion. So there could be times this year when you're not quite sure what's going on, who's telling the truth. Maybe things don't feel settled. It doesn't have to feel sinister, but it could just be that things aren't as straightforward as you would like. However, this is also about illumination, the truth coming to the surface. So I think you're going to find out a lot of truths about other people this year, a lot of truths about yourself, about what you want in life. And your psychic abilities this year, Cancer, are going to be through the roof. I feel some of you are just going to be so in tune. You're going to know exactly what car's going to drive around the corner. The synchronicities are just going to be flowing in, and that's something really exciting. So your January kickstarts here with the 3 of Swords. This can be a difficult card because it is a card of loss, and I've said with other signs as well, we have to take into consideration that this is 1, a general reading, but 2, there are many things going on in the world, and we can't be naive to that or just pretend those things aren't happening. So you might feel some global loss in January. Perhaps there is a loss of control in some way. Perhaps you feel like your life is taking directions that you wouldn't necessarily have chosen for yourself. And perhaps there is some uprooting in terms of your home, or your in general, your location, your home life is something that is important to you. If you have children, perhaps they're with a partner you don't approve of, or perhaps they're taking directions you don't want. So it's a month where you're doing some soul searching, and you're really trying to figure out where you stand at the start of the year. And January blues can really set in for a lot of us. I think that will be true particularly for this year, because it's not going to be like, Happy New Year, because it's so difficult. We've lost so many lives on the planet this year. Whatever your view is on COVID, those people have died. And not just because of COVID, people have died of all kinds of things. And it's feeling that sadness on a global scale, I feel, could come up in January. Now, as we move into February, things are looking a lot more optimistic. You've had a month where you feel a bit dreary, feel a bit down, but February, some good news about your finances comes in. I think you're going to feel more abundant. I think there is going to be definitely some good news on your material plane, whether this is a move to a new location and you're getting excited about that, or some money that is owed to you. It could be a pay rise or something like that. Perhaps if you've been waiting for some government or aid in some way, this comes through. So February in general, I feel you're going to be a lot more optimistic about your material life, at least, even if your emotional life isn't quite sorted out yet. Materially, you're going to feel more secure. And we know that so much stress comes from a fear of lack of resources. It is a need that we all have. We all want to feel safe where we are. So February could definitely bring some of that relief in. As we move into March, you have another ace. This time it is the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords is about brilliant new ideas coming into your life. March is the time for these new ideas just flooding in. Anything to do with business is going to be so exciting. Even from big scale business where you're dealing with, hundreds of clients, to something smaller where you're turning your hobby into something that you can monetize. Both of those things are possible depending on what you do, in your life at the moment. So I definitely feel in March there is massive leaps forward with your ideas, with your business. You can cut through any lies, particularly with this moon card. You're on fire when it comes to your intellect. You can see things very clearly, and your logical mind is really going to rule the day in March. Or rule the month, I should say. Now, as we move into April for you is the Fool, a brand new beginning. This is a major arcana card. It's the first on the journey. He doesn't have a number. He's 0. He's like the brand new start. And the Fool is just ready to dive in. He's ready to take that leap of faith off that cliff. He has this little dog with him that's almost like his conscience. So he's raring to go, and there's a part of your brain that's like, is it the right thing? Did you pack, your passport? Did you turn the lampshades off at home? It's that little voice that tries to keep us a bit safe. But if we let it talk too loud, we can become a bit obsessed with it. So the Fool isn't really listening. You have the voice helping you, but you're doing what you want to do, and this is just a brand new chapter with that moon card. I just feel like, Cancer, this year is going to be your year in a lot of ways. It's not going to be without difficulties, because all of our lives always have difficulties. It's part of life's adventure, but I feel this month in particular, in April, it is this brand new beginning. Something you can really get your teeth stuck into. So exciting. Now, as we move into May, gosh, I'm so pleased for you, because Cancer, I do feel like last year was particularly harsh on you, at least from a tarot aspect. Some of the readings we did were sort of about you having to be patient, waiting. Now, this card is suggesting here in May that you're reaping your harvest. This is the 9 of Pentacles, so you're getting some kind of reward. Now, there is still some hard work you've got to put in, because if we think of farmers, working in the fields, harvesting the crop, yeah, there is hard work. There's still work that needs to be put in, but you're not planting, you're getting the crop to go and then sell it and make some money, so that's a sort of metaphor for it. So I definitely think in May there is some hard work. You may be doing some home renovation, something like that, maybe moving location, like we said. I think that is going to be a theme for a lot of you Cancerians. Just a new changes in your life where you can actually see some direction happening. You're not just swaying in the mist. That energy still is going to be hovering over you a bit this year, because like we said, this is confusion, illusion in its negative form, and it is psychic, wonderful insights and in its positive. So just bear that in mind, that there can still be a bit of fuzzy haziness this year. But on the whole there in May, I really do feel that you could get some more rewards. I'm so excited to see what June is now. So June is the Four of Coins. So June's a bit more tricky. The Four of Coins is a card of feeling apathetic, not quite knowing, what you want to do with your life, where to go. There's a big coin being offered to you and you're just like, nah, I don't know whether I want that. I don't know what I want to do. I'm fed up. Everything I tried doesn't quite work out. I just can't be bothered, right? So that's the energy of June. And let's just have a little laugh about that, because we all go through that. Apathy is something, I believe apathy is a sort of symptom of when we have been through trauma, or when we've been through a difficult time and we've been overcoming that, but then we just lose a bit of momentum. We lose a bit of a spark of motivation. And I think it's important not to get too bitter in June. Don't be saying things like, oh, my life never works out, because you don't want it to become an affirmation, a self-fulfilling prophecy. At the same time, though, don't try and put a face on and pretend everything's okay when it's not. Just give yourself a lot of self-love in June. Allow yourself those down days where you don't feel like doing much, but at the same time, don't think that that's all your life is going to be, because this is just 1 month out of many, and this too shall pass. So in July, you have got the Two of Pentacles. So this is really interesting because, February, you got some good news coming in financially. May, you got some good news coming in financially. And then July, you're having to balance your books a bit. So it could be that you feel that there is a bit more going out than there is coming in. That's at its worst. At its best, you're kind of you're not being too frivolous, but at the same time, you're not being tight. It's a card where you might have to help one child out. And not the other child, but it's not because you love that child any more than the other. It's just one needs your help right now. It could be emotionally, but because it is a Pentacles card, I tend to think it's more to do with your finances. Maybe you have someone come and stay with you in July for a little while they get back on their feet, something like that. So yeah, it's not a month where you're going to be going out spending. But it's also not a month where you're feeling that apathy. So you're getting back more into your spark. Now, August time, we have the Queen of Swords. So this month, if it's you're seeing through the truth again with that Moon card. You're getting to the truth of the matter. You might come across as a bit cold to some people, because the Queen generally can feel a bit cold. I think we've said in readings, when we've done monthly readings, that she's kind of that teacher especially when you're very young and small in school and they come into the room and you're like, oh, it's the headmistress, she's scary. But actually, when you get to know her more, she's got a brilliant sense of humour. So you're either going to meet someone like this in August, or you're actually going to betray some of those attributes yourself, whether you're male or female. And that might be actually quite fun. It's sort of like a role play. Perhaps one way of being hasn't got you where you wanted to go, so perhaps you're just seeing different sides of your personality, putting different sides of your personality across. You're not being fake, you're just exploring new areas of yourself, and I think it's going to be quite fun to see how people react to your assertiveness this month. I think you're going to almost see it as a bit of a game, and it could get you where you want to go, really. Now, in September, Cancer, we have the Two of Swords. A decision has to be made in September, and it's got to be made, but you might feel very indecisive. In a lot of tarot decks, this is a card that is shown with a blindfolded woman. She has two swords in her hand. This is a symbol of not knowing what direction to pick. just sort of going round and round in circles, like, oh, I don't know, should I do the course? Don't I do the course? Do I spend the money on doing this or don't I? Should I move? Should I stay? Do I look for another job or just, it's this backwards and forwards energy it's necessary, but it can feel a bit frustrating. So some of you might have to wait a little bit longer to see when you're actually gonna make your mind up. This is a month of procrastination in some ways, but again, necessary. Don't just dive in just because you feel like you have to make a decision. Let people wait. If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know which path to take, then sometimes the best course of action is inaction. So if you can hold back a little bit and don't beat yourself up about that, I think everything will pan out. So in October, Cancer, we have the Page of Pentacles. This guy can be a little bit immature at times, but he's got a lot of ideas, or she, particularly involving business and finance. Now, you might not feel like you have all the answers. Some of you watching this may be very good at finances. In fact, it may be what you do for a living. Others of you may be great at finances, but just not quite sure about investments, if that's you're moving into a new area of dealing with your money. So I think October is a month where you're actually it's almost like you're playing with your resources a little bit. You're finding out how to save in certain ways. You're finding out how to enjoy what you earn if you have some extra. And it really is a month of growth. Try not to be too frivolous this month. There may be a temptation to do that. I always use this analogy. I call it the fence analogy. Like, say you have a broken fence and it's going to cost a lot of money to get fixed. And it's not really something that is necessary straight away because no one can see the fence. It's in the back garden. But you spend the money on it anyway, and then something else happens that is more urgent. So, and then you kind of kick yourself thinking, ugh. So I think just maybe in October, use this month to think your finances through and not make any hasty decisions. Now, in November, we have the Six of Wands. Fanfare, please. So the Six of Wands is about victory, is about recognition, rewards, awards, just people noticing your talents, your skills, your gifts. This can mean promotions. This can mean as well that your fashion really is being spiced up in a lot of ways. People are just seeing that you're glowing. This has been a huge year for really coming into your own and maturing in a lot of ways. Perhaps, maybe your children have left home and it's like you're finding your new purpose in life. Or perhaps you've left college and you're starting a new career. Or perhaps you have left a relationship in the past and you're figuring out who you are on your own. It's going to be different for each of you, Cancer, but I just feel like you're really coming into your own this year. And then by November, you're going to get some real rewards from that. And then in December, you have the Two of Cups. Ooh. So this could be some new love coming into your life, and some of you might be shaking your head thinking, I don't want to be in a relationship, I can't be bothered. Sometimes we don't choose love, it chooses us, and we actually don't have a say in the matter when our soulmate lands on our front door. For some of you, you might want that and you might be looking for that person. If you are already in a committed relationship, this could mean that that is deepening in some way. There could be some kind of engagement or wedding bells happening. Perhaps you're thinking about growing a family together. And if this doesn't represent your love life in particular, I definitely feel this is new partnerships in terms of your work and your business. People that you can trust, people that you feel you really can work with, who get you. Perhaps you've been in jobs before where the people just don't get you, or maybe you just don't get them, and that's what this illusion has been about. But I feel by the end of the year you're more surrounded with people on your wavelength. So yes, it starts off a bit tricky, there is that feeling of loss, but you're really got some good news about your finances here in the February there. Some great ideas about business. You're taking that leap of faith. You're harvesting the rewards. There's a little bit of apathy towards the middle of the year, but then you're going to really become very assertive, really thinking about decisions you've got to make in your life, particularly involving your finances. But then that victory comes through, and then by the end of the year, it's a brand new cycle that you're really going to enjoy, Cancer. So there you have your 2021 tarot card reading. Thank you again for joining me. It really does mean a lot, especially those of you that join me month to month. You've been with me since I started doing this on Patrick's channel, so I'm really, really honoured to share this time and space with you. If you haven't checked out our daily show, I'd really love you to come along for that ride as well, because it's so much fun and we love being with you every single day. And it's just an honour to have that, really. So I hope that this spread has given you some idea of what you could potentially expect energetically this year. I just want to wish you a peaceful new year. I really hope that you are safe wherever you are in the world, and that you your families, friends, those that matter to you are also safe. I'm sending you lots of love for this new year, and I really hope that things pan out in a way that is beneficial for all of us on the planet. So until we speak again in January, take care, stay safe, and speak again very soon. Alyssa.